One particular aspect that we're going to focus on right now is questions that are being raised as to whether RJD got their election math wrong and whether they gave away too many seats to Congress. Now, despite winning the most number of seats, the Mahagathbandhan's total seat share was dragged down by the dismal performance of the Congress, which only managed to secure 19 seats. In fact, to sort of discuss this further and to get some more perspective, I'm being joined right now by our guests, Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP, and Aditi Phadnis, political editor of the Business Standard. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Aditi Phadnis, if I can come to you first, this particular angle, I mean, of course, the Bihar election has had so many various layers at play and angles at play, but this angle of what happened to the Mahagathbandhan and the Congress factor, and obviously now the future as far as Congress is concerned, considering, it's going to be, looks like they're becoming a burden on their allies rather than helping.
Well, it's a matter of opinion. Congress argue that because of their inputs and because of their understanding of politics and economics, Tejasvi Yadav was able to home in on some of the most important issues in the election, like the offer of jobs, which the Congress suggested to the RJD, and the election to another plane altogether. After all, if Tejasvi Yadav had gone on the basis of caste and other issues, it's unlikely that he could have had such a high strike rate. And let's not forget that if the Congress had performed better, well, you might have had a different situation in Bihar today. So I would say that the Congress has done well, but inputs in the election cannot just be shrugged off.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you on that. Tuhin Sinha, bringing you in here as well. Obviously, it was touch and go for a while, with the way the numbers were sort of panning out. But nonetheless, you were expecting that the NDA would perform better than it has.
See, from 11 a.m. onwards yesterday, the pattern has pretty much remained the same. We could have gone up to 135 seats, but we ended up with 55 seats. But at no point in time, post 11 a.m., RJD Congress combined ahead. And initial hours, if shown to be ahead, I think it was optimism of some people who were trying to manufacture out of Tejasvi, still isn't. So I think the Bihar voters are more intelligent than the voters imagined him. And the concept of shy voters is pretty much there, as is evident in this election. Shy voters who voted out in large numbers for BJP and JDU. Maybe the fear of Gundaraj, in public still prohibits people from speaking out openly about their voting patterns. And, at the end of the day, what RJD has done 15 years ago remains alive. Probably they were hoping that by not using Lalu Yadav's poster, even in the end, no matter, irrespective of the right noises and the right issues raised by Tejasvi, if they have still fallen short, I think it is the baggage of Lalu Yadav and the 15 years of misrule, the mayhem, the memories of which are alive. And also, obviously, the Congress, I'm sure they would blame the Congress because 18 out of 70 seats is pathetic. As far as BJP NDU is concerned, BJP was all, in the morning yesterday when I was there on your show at 8 a.m., I had said the calculation was very simple, actually. If BJP wins at least 2/3 of the seat, which we were very confident of winning, and if JDU secures at least 1/3 of the seats, which again JDU was confident, we were there, and which is how it has eventually panned out in the end. We have secured about 74% of the seats we contested, and JDU has done better than that. JDU has done, I think, 40% of the seats which they contested. So in the end, yes, we were aware that there was a slight anti-incumbency, which was mainly, around JDU. As far as BJP is concerned, we have only improved our performance from last time, and significantly so.
Yes, absolutely. That anti-incumbency factor that you pointed out also, I want to come to that in just a bit. But going back also now to Aditi Phadnis, here, As far as Congress is concerned, how do you think this is going to impact going forward, their future, their other negotiation powers with respect to seat sharing in forthcoming elections as well? Because this is it's already been a downhill, for Congress, and now it's probably going to get only worse.
Well, I don't know whether it's going to get, can't say that much in the future, but certainly this election has been all round quite a disappointment for the Congress. And even the left has done better than expected. For the Congress to contest 70 seats and get only 19 is, I mean, we still have to look at the vote shares and where they lost out and whom they lost out to. But that slicing and dicing will take place as time goes on. I think the Congress is going to go into massive introspection, and that was on the cards anyway, because the party is scheduled to hold an AICC session at some point in the first quarter of 2021. So I'm pretty sure now preparations will be on to understand why the party did so badly and where it is that they went wrong.
Anything changed between, both the BJP and the JDU in terms of the dynamics at play, given the fact that you yourself spoke about the anti-incumbency factor that was at play through this election, and we saw that play out in multiple different ways, including how the NDA was campaigning as well. But now that it has turned out in terms of the split between the BJP and the JDU, what changes in the dynamics between the two parties?
See, as far as we are concerned, we will very much support Nitish Kumar ji as the next CM. Because that is something which we have committed openly multiple times before the elections. And we are not like one of our previous partners who campaigned with Devendra Fadnis as the face of the elections and then did a volte-face later. So we are not a party which believes in such an operating style. So we would definitely support Nitish Kumar ji wholeheartedly, and he would be the CM. Now, if naturally some dynamics change, because, democracy is a game of numbers. So obviously a larger number of seats in the assembly would probably mean more number of ministerial berths for the BJP. That is how I see it panning out. But otherwise, like we will certainly stick to our commitment, and the arrangement will remain the way it has been for the last 15 years, barring a couple of years in between.
All right. On that note, Tuhin Sinha and Aditi Phadnis, thank you so much for joining us with all of that perspective.